Hello everybody, and welcome to the first Vintage Cube draft of the season. I'm sorry that I'm pretty late on this. I know it's been a week. I was traveling a lot. I was in San Francisco for a wedding, just been pretty busy. But I will try to release some videos in the second half of the season. And we have a very good pack to start here, because we have Oko, Thief of Trophies. This card is incredible, just one of the best cards in the format. Probably the best Planeswalker ever printed. It's a good pack all around. I love Rogran Triome. Treachery is quite good, and then Tinker is also very broken, but Oko is just basically unpassable. Comes down on turn 3 or even turn 2. It can negate almost any card in the format. Goes straight to 6 loyalty. It's a quick clock. It just does everything you want to be doing. Okay, I'm not gonna force any particular deck with Oko. It's good in any deck that can cast it. So it's not going to adjust my pick order too much. Here we have, I guess it makes card draw better because, the two things it does, it makes card draw better and it makes 1-mana accelerants better because turn 2 Oko is even better. This is a not great pack to follow it up. The blue cards are all okay. There's no acceleration. We could take Temple Garden because I think Bant is a really good color combination for this. If you can pair Oko with like a few green accelerants and white removal, that's pretty strong. If this was a blue-white or a blue-green land, I would take it. But a green-white I think is a little too weak. We could just take Brazen Borrower, which is very good for defending Oko and for pressure and Planeswalkers. Not typically a card I like to second pick. Alternatively, there's Shark Typhoon, but I think I'm going to prioritize the interaction here and take the Borrower. Close pick, though. Okay, now there's a Kaito if we want to be Sultai. Also Overrun Tomb if we want to be Sultai. But I think we should probably just take Moldrifter. There's also Garruk Wildspeaker, which is a good card. And it is very good in blue-green specifically because you can play it and untap lands for your counter magic. But I think I want to take the blue cards early and take the green cards late. It's pretty likely that either Garruk or Sylvan Library comes around. Yeah, let's just take the Moldrifter. In general, when you're playing blue mid-range decks, you want to take the blue cards with your first picks in the pack and then bank on the non-blue cards wheeling. Now we have a few options. There's Underground Sea if we're playing Sultai, Fiery Islet if we want to go Teamer, and then Spellseeker and Tireless Tracker just has decent threats. I think I'll take the Tracker here, though. It's a great card. It also makes artifacts, which is good with Oko. You can turn the clues from Tireless Tracker into Elks if you need them. And it's just a really good card on its own. Yeah, that seems solid. We'll take the Tracker here. Ooh, interesting. So there's Tameo, which is a Planeswalker in our colors, but I think we take the Opposition here. Opposition is a card that's very powerful, but it's hard to make an Opposition deck. You need to be playing blue and also be playing a lot of creatures, and that is just not that common of a thing to get together. But blue-green is a color combination that makes that work. And green looks fairly open. There's a lot of green cards in this pack. We have a lot of creatures already. Yeah, I think I'll take the Opposition here. And then hopefully Tameo comes around. Okay, now we can take an Eternal Witness, which is great. It's another body that's good with Opposition. And it's also very good with blue, like cantrips and card draw and stuff like that. The white cards here are amazing. Like, Rafine's Tower is some blue-white fixing, and then Elspeth and Palace Jailer in particular are very good. Also Steam Vents, but I think we just take the Eternal Witness here. Opposition is a really powerful plan, and, Oko is just incredible, so we're going to go very far out of our way to be playing green. Now we get a few options. There's Regrowth, which is worse than an Eternal Witness here. We could take Razorverse Thicket if we think we want to be playing white. We're not really a Dryad deck. I don't think this card's great here. Could take Escape to the Wilds if we're playing red. I think I'm just going to speculate on the Razorverse Thicket, though. It's not amazing, but we're not passing up on much here. And there's a lot of very, very powerful white cards that we would want to splash. Ooh, Pest Infestation. Time Warp is good, too, and it's also good with Eternal Witness, but I think Pest Infestation is better. This card is good interaction, it's also a win condition, and it's very good with Opposition. So we'll take that. Now we can take, I don't think we're a Terrastodon deck yet, so I'll take the Horizon Canopy. More just potential helping to splash white later down the road. Given all these 3-drops, I would really like to get some 1-mana accelerants, though. And green is not looking super open. Smuggler's Copter is a good card, but it requires us to have a lot of creatures. I guess we're going to have a lot of creatures, though. Yeah, I think we can take the Copter here. It's not good with opposition. I guess we could also take Skullclamp. Actually, let's take Skullclamp. I think Skullclamp has a higher upside, and we have, like, it's great with Pest Infestation, great with Eternal Witness. Just, like, I think it will pair well with a lot of stuff that we have. And now we could take Thalia. That's kind of interesting. If we're playing a creature-heavy deck, Armageddon's fine, but Thalia has a higher upside. Yeah, I'll take this. It could be some sort of weird Bant creature deck. I'm not set on this, but it could get there. Not playing any of these cards. We can take a Selfless Spirit in case we are playing full-on Bant. Okay, interesting start here. TBD if we're going to be Bant or blue-green, but we have some really powerful cards. We just need some acceleration. Hopefully we can get that here. Alright, now what do we have? Some good options. Uro is not as good as Oko. This is like not really the deck for it. You want to be playing a lot of cantrips with this card. I think we should take the Birds of Paradise. I love Glenalindra, but this deck really wants some acceleration with all these cards. And Birds goes well with Skullclamp. Just a really good card. So, yeah, let's take this. Sorry, Glen. Glen is a very, very good card too, but Birds of Paradise is just perfect. Now we have what? Crater Hoof Behemoth versus Finhorn Elves, really. We don't have that much acceleration, so we're not really a Crater Hoof deck. It is very good in any deck that can cast it. But Finhorn Elves is just so what we need, and we don't have that much acceleration for the Crater Hoof yet. So I think I do need to take the Elf here. It's close, but I think I'm going to take this. I know some people are going to be mad at me in the comments because Crater Hoof Behemoth does just win games. I'm not denying that fact. But given the makeup of this deck and the current lack of acceleration, I think it's a little too greedy to take that. Of course, right after passing that, we get the Rofellos, which is kind of perfect to pair with the Crater Hoof. Questing Beast is also good. Metamorph is fine. So the question here is, do we just slam Rofellos, which is not amazing for our deck currently, or do we take Chart of Course, which actually is quite good. It's very good if you're playing creatures. I think I like taking the Chart here because we don't have that much card draw, and then we can potentially wheel one of the two green cards. Yeah, I think that's a good plan. Ooh, great pack for us. Deranged Hermit is one of the best cards with opposition. Turn 3 opposition, turn 4 Deranged Hermit wins pretty much every game. But I think we take the Upheaval because it's great in blue-green. It's great when you have these accelerants. And then hopefully we can wheel the Hermit. Yeah, let's do that. Very close pick, but I think Upheaval is going to be a bit better for us. Now we get a Botanical Sanctum. That's pretty nice. I would love to get to Omnath, but we're not really there. We don't have any fetch lands. So we'll just take the piece of nice fixing. This has been a really good pack so far. Close pick here. We have a nice 5-drop that makes multiple bodies. It's worse than Deranged Hermit in this deck, but it's still solid. And then there's Zagoth Triome. This isn't the best land, but it is a blue-green dual land, and I think that's probably worth taking. It's not phenomenal, but fixing is important, and Whisperwood Elemental is kind of replaceable. Now it's Caryatid or Thieving Skydiver. Which one is better? Caryatid is acceleration, and we don't have that much acceleration. This is probably the pick. I do like Thieving Skydiver. But we already have Oko and Eternal Witness to deal with artifacts, and we're pretty light on accelerants. So we will take that. Now there's a couple interesting black cards. And we do have one Triome. I don't think we're playing Hullbreaker Horror. So, which one of these black cards is better for us? Probably Vraska. Baleful Strix is good, especially with the with opposition, but I still think Vraska is the move here because it's interaction and we don't have that many ways to kill things in this deck. Take that. And there's a Grist. Okay. That's really good for us. It's great with opposition and Skull Clamp. And yeah, just a great card. So that makes me want to play black pretty heavily. I'll prioritize black mana fixing now. Do we play Selesnia's Signet? Probably not, so I'll take Treasure Cruise. This isn't the best Treasure Cruise deck, but I don't mind having one graveyard card in these sorts of decks. So for black sources right now, we have Zagoth Triome, Birds of Paradise, and Sylvan Caryatid. There's 3 without playing any basic swamps. Not great, but we're getting there. We're not playing this, so we'll take a Questing Beast, which is pretty good. It's not particularly synergistic with our deck, but it's just a strong card. It also is somewhat good with opposition because it has Vigilance, so you can attack and then still use it to tap something. So we're looking for fetch lands to find our Triome, more 1-mana accelerants. I wouldn't mind a bit more removal if we are playing black. Our card draw is okay, but not amazing. And then, of course, I'm always happy to get a broken card. So, Ancestral Recall, something like that, would be very much welcomed. We'll take a Hero's Downfall. It's a good card. If we could play it, I'll be happy, but I don't think we'll be able to make double black work, unfortunately. Take the black land. Guess we take Eureka and don't play it. We passed a couple good Sultai lands early on. I think there was an Overgrown Tomb and a blue and an Underground Sea. Okay, Bitter Blossom is good. Like, it's good with Skull Clamp and with opposition again, so we'll take that and then see where we end up. Interesting. So there's a couple options here. Once again, Ophiomancer is great with Skull Clamp. It's good in that sort of style of deck. Demonic Tutor is a more powerful black card. There's also Nurturing Peatland to help with the fixing. But then there's Library for power level, and then a couple pretty good green cards. And part of me thinks we just need to take more more acceleration. We only have 3 accelerants right now, and we want to play Upheaval. Yeah, I think I gotta take the Llanowar Elves. It's just so important to have a critical mass of acceleration. I guess we're not going up that high on the curve, but... And it doesn't help us fix our mana. Close pick, but I think Llanowar Elves is still the move. It is close. Hopefully one of these black cards comes around, but yeah, let's take the Elf. There's a Preordain. That's good. There's also Dismember and Jace. We're not really a good Jace deck, though. We don't have that many instants and sorceries to flash back. So I think I'm just going to take the Preordain just to add consistency. Yeah, we'll do that. That's a form of mana fixing. Nice. Misty Rainforest, great pickup. Not really any close cards. This card goes well with opposition if you have instants and sorceries, but we don't. Avenger of Zendikar would be fine, but yeah, I mean, we're just going to take the perfect fetch land. That's a great pickup. And if Avenger of Zendikar comes around, we'll be happy. Now, what do we want? There is a lot of good cards here, actually. There's Spell Pierce. We don't have any counter magic at the moment, so that would be some solid interaction. Spar's Headquarters is fixing. I don't think I'm going to take Night's Whisper. I would take Hydroid Krasis over Night's Whisper. And I would also take this over Dig Through Time. So I think it comes down to Spar's Headquarters, Hydroid Krasis, and Spell Pierce. And it's very close between those. I actually am leaning toward the Spar's Headquarters here. No, actually, let's take the Spell Pierce. Having access to some counter magic is just so important. Like, you don't need it, but your deck will be much better if you have it. We're going to have too many playables, but that's a good problem to have. I think we still want to have the Pierce. Okay, Arbor Elf is a great pickup. We'll take that. That can potentially make multiple colors of mana. Now we get a bunch of interesting options. Another potential piece of fixing, Factor Fiction, which is good card draw. Course of Crew Fix is just a good card. I think I will take the fixing here though. Given that we have so many spells, we just took the spells, so yeah, let's just solidify the mana. Trinket Mage can find Skull Clamp, and Witherbloom Command is a great card, but I think we take the Rex Sage here. This is another creature. We want to have a high creature count, and it also plays really well with Skull Clamp. Okay, Satoru is pretty bad, but I don't think any of the other cards are playable. Is there a world where Stomping Ground helps us? Actually, maybe, and I don't think there's ever a world where we play this. Well, it's possible. We could want this out of the board in some matchups. Okay, okay. Ophio Mentor would be good, but we're definitely taking Nurturing Peatland. Our fixing is not great. That's a really good pickup. Nothing for us here. We are not going to be playing white. So I'm just going to take Blightsteel Colossus as a potential sideboard option against Mill. This deck looks kind of sweet. We're a little bit light on win conditions, but we have some Planeswalkers, and yeah, I think this can get the job done. Is Yorion good at all? Not really. It's good with Eternal Witness and Reclamation Sage, and it's okay with Planeswalkers. It's good with Muldrifter. I guess I'll take it, but I'm not going to play it. How's our black mana looking? We have 1, 2, 3 free sources. So we're going to need to play, and we have 3 black cards. So we're going to need to play some swamps, but not many. Ooh, Hydroid Krasis is a very nice late wheel. Better than Thragtusk for sure. Take the creature. That actually could come in some matchups. And then not playing any of these last pickups, but that's fine. Witherbloom Command, last pick. Nice. That's actually a card we're going to play. We're going to have to make some tough cuts, though. I think we can cut Treasure Cruise. We're not really filling the graveyard very well, and we have other forms of card draw. Plus, I want to keep my creature count up. Upheaval is worth it. We could play 16 lands. But our fixing is not great. I don't want to cut Opposition. I don't really want to cut any of the Planeswalkers. I don't want to cut Bitter Blossom. I like the Skull Clamp. This is close. We could cut Questing Beast, but it's just a good card, and we need a few ways to close out the game. Let's see how the fixing will look if we play 16 lands. So we're a little bit heavier green and blue. We're playing 15 green cards, 9 blue cards, 4 black cards. And we have a lot of 1-mana accelerants, or 4 1-mana accelerants. For green sources, this would give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I'm fine with that. For blue, that would give us 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That seems fine too. We don't really need blue mana early. And for black, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus spells. I kind of want one more green source. But we're also playing a lot of 4 1-mana accelerants, and I don't want to just have hands with 4 lands and 2 dorks and just no action. So I think I'm going to run it with 16 lands. I would prefer that if we had a little bit better fixing. If these 2 swamps were both fetches, I would feel a little bit better about things, but I think this seems playable. We can run it like this, and then if there's a matchup where we don't need Reclamation Sage and we're on the play, we can bring in an extra land, potentially. Also, in matchups where our life total doesn't matter, we can bring in Horizon Canopy, just as a way to cycle. But I think if we're playing a kind of low land count and we don't have much life gain, that's not where we want, Actually, I will play that over one forest in the main deck. Most decks aren't pressuring your life total. If we play against mono red and mono white in game one, Horizon Canopy could be bad, but I think it's more likely we'll play against some sort of blue control deck, and the extra gas that this can provide us will help. So we will run it like this. Sultai, or blue-green splashing black. This deck seems pretty sweet. Hopefully we can get some opposition games in. I'll see you in round one. Alright, we have our opponent for round one. Hopefully we have the right colors of mana and an accelerant. We have the right colors of mana and no accelerant, but turn 2 Bitter Blossom is pretty good. Obviously 5 lands is not ideal, but we're playing a fairly low land count, so I think this is fine. I'm going to lead on basic Swamp. It's close, it doesn't really matter, but I want to be able to play Witherbloom Command on turn 2 if we draw it, so I'm not going to play an island. They play Thraben Spectre. Okay, well, running into aggro in round 1 should be an okay matchup, but the fact that we don't have any action is rough. Let's see if they have a turn 2 play. Scrap Heap Scrounger, alright. Preordain, let's play that. These are both really good, so we'll top and draw the Caryatid. So we're going to take a hit this turn for 3, but then next turn we can double block the Scrounger. Esper Sentinel. Okay, I think I'm just going to play the Krasis this turn. We could try and wait. If they hadn't played the Esper Sentinel, I probably would have gone Eternal Witness and then Preordain, but... Oh, actually, wait, we have the Caryatid, so we can do that without letting them draw a card. So, yeah, I think I'm going to do that. We'll just hold off, just out of the board and then play a bigger Hydroid Krasis next turn. Whoops. Alright. Okay, we don't need the birds, but I'll take the Tireless Tracker. And we'll pass with all these guys back to block, and they don't have super profitable attacks here. They just crack the clue end of turn, presumably. We are down to 14, and we're losing a life every turn to the Bitter Blossom, but they're not playing Burn, and we have some life gain in the form of Hydroid Krasis. With that being said, though, we have a somewhat slow clock, just in our deck in general, so that is one downside of Bitter Blossom, in particular against the aggro matchups. We're probably going to be cutting this card in this matchup for games 2 and 3. Interesting. So they do attack. Let's go block and double block. They could have the Wandering Emperor here, but they don't. Elspeth Knight Errant to make a 1/1, sure. Okay, so I think we're just going to play Tireless Tracker this turn. We're going to hold off on the Krasis for as long as possible so that we can make it big. So let's play the Tracker. Play land. And then I'm just going to crack this now in case we draw a 1-drop. Upheaval, interesting. Okay, I'm going to pass to preserve the life total. Upheaval was a solid draw, potentially. But we need to get a little bit more mana before we can make use of it, really. Parallax Wave. Okay, that's a pretty big problem. Because now they can take out our Fairy Rogues and hit us with the Elspeth pretty hard. We'll see if they just kill both of the tokens. Parallax Wave is bad against Upheaval, though. Well, it's kind of weird against Upheaval. If we play Upheaval, then we get our Tireless Tracker back. But they can also, in response, Parallax Wave their own Esper Sentinel, and then they'll get their Sentinel back. Alright, definitely going to chump block here. And I think think I'll just trade here. We could also just block with a carry added. Actually, yeah, I'll just block with a carry added. I don't really care about them having a 1/1. Pest infestation. Interesting. Okay, that was a good draw. Let's just play that. We're going to go Swamp, swing at the Elspeth, because they're going to just take out our tokens with a Parallax Wave. And then we could kill our own Bitter Blossom if we wanted to. I don't think that's necessary, though. Yeah, I think we want to kill the Parallax Wave before we play the Hydroid Crisis. So we'll kill those two. And then I'm not going to let them draw a card, so we'll hit done. They can save their Esper Sentinel here. We'll see if they see the line. Okay, they do. So they do that. Then they take out our 2 fairies. We kill that. We get a bunch of 1/1s. Get our Tile Tracker back and pass. And I slightly missequenced there. I could have tapped the Sylvan Caryatid and then played land post Pest Infestation, which would give us 1 clue. I don't think that's the axis upon which this game will be won or lost, though. This is more of a game about life total. So they give the Sentinel flying, hit us for 4. We go to 8. Then we're going to go down to 7. But we have some life gain with the Hydroid Crisis. So let's go land. Then I'm going to attack everything at the Elspeth. I'm not concerned about my life total here. Sorry. I'm not concerned about racing. Like, if we're going to kill them before... If the game goes long, we'll kill them. I just want to not die to the Elspeth. So I block there, which makes sense. The Elspeth takes 4. Then we'll play Hydroid Crisis. Six, 6, so we get to draw 3 and gain 3. And we will pass. And now if they can't kill the Hydroid Crisis, the game just ends. If they have a way to kill the Crisis, like a Flicker Wisp or something, they could have a chance. But then we still have a Fairy Rogue chump block, and they just don't have that much gas. Alright, sweet. So we take down mono white in game 1. I'm going to cut the Bitter Blossom. It was okay there, but they have Parallax Wave, and I just think it's like cards that pay a lot of life are not really where we want to be. Zero's Downfall is very good if we can cast it, but Double Black is a little rough. All of these cards seem pretty good. Opposition isn't really where we want it. Actually, Upheaval is pretty bad. Yeah, I don't think we want Upheaval. So let's just play the Hero's Downfall and then cut 1 island for 1 more... Oh, wait. We definitely got to cut the Horizon Canopy. And then I think we cut 1 island for 1 swamp if we're bringing in a double black card. So we'll add a forest and a swamp. And then we could play 1 more card. Satoru's not terrible, just as a blocker. I don't think we want Treasure Cruise. I don't want a 17th land. Yeah, I'll play Satoru as a 2/4. It's pretty bad, but I think it is probably better than a 17th land or any of these other cards on our board. And then, yeah, we'll submit like this. On the play, I'll probably, if we lose this game on the play, for game 3, I'll cut the Satoru for another land. Oof. I'm going to keep it. It's pretty bad that we don't have blue sources, but we have multiple early plays and a lot of good things to draw into. So we'll lead on an elf and pass. And then Zagoth Shrine's an interesting draw. We could cycle that, or we could play it to try and get to opposition. Okay, if we do that this turn, we're definitely just playing Caryatid plus another elf. And now the Thalia is actively helping us significantly. We don't have any attacks. Questing beasts. Oh, they have Caracas. I think we do want to play the Triome here because I want to get the opposition down. So we'll go... Then, is it even worth playing Questing Beast? We're not going to block with anything. I guess we could just play it on the off chance they don't realize that Caracas works. I don't think we want to cycle the Triome either way. So yeah, let's just play the Triome and play Questing Beast. We're not going to block with either of our dudes. They can just Caracas this, and then that's fine. Like, it is what it is. Caracas isn't too terrible for us here, though, because we can tap it with opposition next turn. So this turn we're going to take 3. But then we can start locking them down with opposition, especially if we can find a few more creatures. So we'll block. What's their play? Hero of Bladehold. Okay, that's pretty bad against the opposition. Grist was a great draw, but we're going to play opposition first. And then I'm going to tap their Caracas and their Hero of Bladehold and take 5. Not too worried about my life total here. I just don't want them to start playing any 5-drop Planeswalkers. And actually, Grist is pretty nice against Thalia. It counts as a creature when it's in our hand, so I think it only costs 3 to play instead of 4. Okay, so we'll go another land. Grist. Nice, that did work how I was hoping it would. Plus, and then playing Questing Beast doesn't really do anything. It would require us to tap 2 of our creatures, so we're not going to do that this turn. We'll just pass. And this turn we can tap all of their creatures and their Caracas. Containment Priest, end of turn. Okay, that's fine. So I'm just going to let them have all their mana then. Yeah, I think it's fine if they have their mana. They could play something kind of scary, but the Grist opposition will take over the game as long as we can keep Grist alive. If they do have Parallax Wave, we're going to die. So that's basically the card we are scared of, but hopefully they don't have it. Tap 1 guy. And eventually we'll also get to the point where we don't even need to worry about the Parallax Wave anymore because we can tap down their lands. Okay, Elspeth Knight Errant's not that bad. We can actually just kill it with Grist if we want to. That might be worth it, because them making creatures every turn is kind of annoying. That was a really good draw. Yeah, I'll take out the Elspeth here. So we can go... Land... We'll start with Hydroid Krasis. I'm not going to tap the creatures. This is fine to just draw 2. Ooh, that's some gas. So let's sacrifice our insect to kill Elspeth. And then this is looking pretty good. We can tap 3, or we'll probably tap 3 other creatures and leave the Hydroid Krasis back to block. And they shouldn't be able to kill our Grist. Alright, opposition to tap Hero of Bladehold first. That's definitely the one we care most about. Tap this. Yeah, tap this. And then I'm going to let them attack here. If they want to send both at Grist, that's fine. Okay, end of combat. Then we'll tap the Caracas. So we no longer need this as a blocker, so we can just hit their mana a bit. Okay, and now the game is getting progressively further and further out of reach for them. Let's play Oko. Oops. Oko. Make a food. Arbor Elf. And yeah, there's no way they can come back from this position. Make another 1/1. I'm not going to even attack here. I'm just going to start tapping their lands. So we can go upkeep, tap. They have to play Restoration Angel. Okay, this doesn't do anything. We just need to tap it. If they click yes, they'll exile their own thing, which would be kind of hilarious, but they don't do it. Okay, so I'm going to tap their Caracas in their upkeep with an insect, and then I'm going to let them go to combat with everything else. Alright, now I'll tap Hero, tap Resto, tap Scrappy Scrounger, and I'll let them attack with these guys if they want to. End of combat, tap land and land. And now we're just putting multiple bodies onto play every single turn, so there's no way they could ever come back from this. They have a Wandering Emperor, huh? Okay, sure. They exile our dude, that's fine. I'll just tap Dahlia and pass. This is irrelevant. We don't care about them playing the Wandering Emperor. We can kill it. Do we want to kill it? I don't even think so. Let's just hardcast Moldrifter to start. Or we could play Questing Beast. No, I'm just going to play Moldrifter. I mean, there's no real losing line at this point. I think we're 100% to win. Okay, so I'll make another 1/1. Make another 3/3. I guess I'll send the 3/3 at the Wandering Emperor, and if they want to block, they can. I think I'm actually going to play Witherbloom Command here to, let's see, target creature gets -3/-1, and then, oh, whoops. Target creature gets -3/-1, and then we mill, so yeah. We mill 3, this creature gets -3/-1. There we go. We'll bring back the Nurturing Peatland, play the Nurturing Peatland, and pass turn. Then we have 5 things to tap with, so I'll tap their Caracas now. I respect that my opponent's still grinding, but I don't think it's going to pay off for them. They kill off their Wandering Emperor to make a 2/2, sure. Alright, sweet. So we pretty easily dispatch mono white in round 1. You see the power of opposition there. We were able to just completely dominate their creatures with a little help from some broken 3-mana planeswalkers. Very smooth start. I'll see you in round 2. Alright, we have our opponent for round 2. Currently 1-0, and we've won the die roll here. And keepable hand. It's a little bit slow, but we have Spell Pierce, and we have all of our colors, so I will keep. Hopefully they keep a hand that's really banking on a Black Lotus, and Spell Pierce ruins their day. That's kind of weird. They passed, but then when they saw that we had an end of combat step... Oh, we're playing against Fen. Okay, nice. Always good to play against someone who's familiar with the channel. Triome, huh? I think I'm going to hold that and plan on cycling it. So let's just play Forest and pass. If they have a strip mine, they're going to strip mine our island, so I'm not worried about concealing the forest or anything like that. Oh, wait, I should not F6 here. Okay. If they went end of turn Ancestral Recall and I didn't Spell Pierce, that would be a little embarrassing. So we'll see what we draw here. If we draw an expensive card, I might just play the Triome. If we draw land, I'll definitely hold it. Birds of Paradise. Okay, good draw. Actually, medium draw. But I think I will play it, so let's go Swamp, Birds. We can't cycle the Triome now, but that's fine. We'll hold up Spell Pierce. And then next turn we can play we can play Vraska probably with Spell Pierce backup. If they just kill this Birds of Paradise, okay, yeah, that's fine. I'm not going to fight over that. Mox Jet. Fair enough. Can't Spell Pierce that. Can Spell Pierce that. Hopefully they don't have a Spell Pierce back. But actually, even if they do, it's fine. We can kill it with Vraska. Okay, that resolves. Now we can play our Vraska and hopefully kill the Mox Jet. It's possible they have a Spell Pierce that they saved there. But I think they would use it to force through the Liliana most likely. We'll see. Play Vraska. Please work. Nice. And then we can blow up your Mox Jet. And pass turn. This is a big turn. If they don't do anything meaningful with the board and we get to untap with Vraska and just like continue developing, we'll be in a great spot. But if they played like Jace the Mind Sculptor here or something, then we'd be behind. Okay, nice. No play. They could have Fact or Fiction, but this is fine. Reclamation Sage is an interesting draw. Let's play Krasis as a 2/2. And if they want to counter this, that's totally fine. They could go counterbalance Vraska. Okay, they just let that go. That was an interesting draw. So now we can play Nurturing Peatland and play the Arbor Elf. I was going to play the Triome, but now we'll just do this. With the way that this game is developed, I do kind of wish that I had played the Triome earlier, but that's fine. Let's plus and sacrifice the basic Swamp. And then pass turn. You gotta like this position here. We're even on mana. We have some creatures on the board. We have a Planeswalker. Our hand is solid. What's their end of play turn? Snapcaster, Dismember, sure. It's kind of an interesting decision about which one to kill. We'll see what they elect to do. They go for the Krasis, okay. And then if they swing at the Vraska, I think I'm just going to trade. It's not the best, but it's like keeping the Vraska around, I think, is worth it. They could have a second removal spell for the Arbor Elf. Oh, Hero's Downfall, sure. They probably should have attacked the Vraska first, because now, okay, I mean, I guess they just, well, yeah, if they attacked the Vraska first, I would probably have traded, and that would have been a good trade, but that's a small difference. Horizon Canopy. I'm going to start by sacking the Nurturing Peatland. Well, yeah, let's sack the Peatland. We have a low curve. I don't really need to have a bunch of expensive stuff. Then we can go Forest, Finhorn Elves, and I'm just going to cycle the Triome into turn. That's going to put us pretty low on black cards, or on black mana. But we don't have any black cards in our hand, and we only have 2 more in our deck. And I don't want to flood. Like, we are definitely at more risk of flood than screw here. They have a Narset. Okay, that's fine. It's not great, but it's fine. They hit Frantic Search. Okay, Frantic Search is not that good. They could be playing Reanimator, but I'm not going to give them credit for that before they show us anything of that nature. So let's end a turn, cycle Triome. Narset does not stop this. That's the first card we've drawn. We do draw a Black Spell. I'm not too worried about that, though. There's no rush to play that. I think I will just send both at Narset. And then they can trade with the Arbor Elf and let Narset go to 2. I'm not going to play the Reclamation Sage here. It's going to pass, and then end of turn, crack the Horizon Canopy. Note that we would have had some pretty brutal mana flood if it wasn't for all our cycling lands. But we'll have cycled through Horizon Canopy, Ziggurat Triumph, and Nurturing Peatland, which is pretty nice. Oh no, Mystic Confluence. Okay, that's very bad for us. That's a lot of card draw. We'll crack this. Shard Course, that's a good draw. Okay, so we'll go land, swing. And then we can play Charter Course with 3 mana up, so if they want to counter it, they have to only draw 1 card. They just let it resolve. Okay. Now it's an interesting decision. Do we want to play another thing and let them counter it? I think I will. I'm just going to jam Mole Drifter Evoked. They're going to counter it, but it means they draw 1 fewer cards and we get to use our mana. Okay, Frantic Search first. That's fine. I think we only have 1 more Swamp in the deck, and Birds of Paradise is gone. So it actually is going to be pretty hard to play this Witherbloom command. We have the Swamp and then, I guess, Sylvan Caryatid, and those are our 2 sources remaining. Misty Rainforest doesn't have another black source to get. Whoa, they discard Remand. That's kind of surprising. Their hand must be good. So here comes Mystic Confluence, counter bounce draw. Fair enough. So our board's empty. We'll see what they have this turn. Hymn to Torok. Okay. They hit the Witherbloom command. That's good. Skullclamp is kind of sad to see go. Best case scenario would have been Witherbloom command, Reclamation Sage probably. But this is fine. Teferi, that's not ideal, but not the end of the world. We're not playing much counter magic, just the 1 Spell Pierce, so the static ability isn't that good against us. There's the Caryatid. So let's just play Tracker plus Caryatid here. And then they can bounce the Tracker and we can't kill the Teferi, but that's fine. They're slightly ahead right now. They have we're similar on resources, but they have a Teferi, 1 more land. But then if you look at the fact that they have tons of action in their graveyard, and we have tons of lands in our graveyard, and some action, but we have a lot more live draws in our deck. On average. I mean, maybe they're playing 6 5-drops, but in most situations here, I think we're slightly ahead. They play Signet. We have never mind. Scarab God just wins. That's not people though. That is not people. Interesting. I think we just restart the game essentially here. Actually, we could jam upheaval, then play land Finhorn Elves, and it's like it's the turn one. And I think that's better than passing. Like if we pass, they can then start going off with the Scarab God, start scrying. I think that's worse than just going for it here. In general, you want to wait longer to play upheaval, but I think this is the right move in the situation. So we'll go upheaval. We got a spell pierce, but that's fine. Then forest, Finhorn Elves. And we don't even have to discard the hand size, which is kind of sad, but also kind of hilarious. So next turn we can play Tireless Tracker. And then we can play Reclamation Sage to kill their Dimir Signet. Oh, that's too bad. Trying to make sure that... Okay, yeah. Sometimes I get in a weird cycle where when I mean to pause, I'm actually unpausing, but we're good. So they're deciding which ones to keep. They need to discard 3 cards to hand size. We can go Island, Sylvan Caryatid. We're solidly... I think we're slightly ahead here, but the Scarab God is a terrifying card. Drawing in basic island there was not good. There's the Signet. I think we do want to kill that. I would love to get the Tireless Tracker down. Ooh, good draw. But let's still just kill the Signet. So, land, Rexage. And then if they play Teferi here, oh, they just played Rafine Sour tapped. That's good for us. Now I think I'm going to go for Tireless Tracker before Questing Beast. Wrist was a good draw. Still going to go for Tireless Tracker first, though. Because this pressures them a lot and lets us draw cards. And now if they want to play Teferi and bounce the Tireless Tracker, that's fine. We can... Like, that happens, but then we'll kill their Teferi, and they're down to 12. We're pressuring them pretty quickly. Yep, there's the Teferi. This looks like it could be a tough matchup. Their deck is really good. They don't have that much removal that we've seen, but Liliana is great against us. They have some good Planeswalkers, just a lot of solid options. It remains to be seen if they have a board sweeper. That would make it a lot worse for us. So now end of turn we'll crack the clue, and then we can go Grist plus Tireless Tracker, probably. Ooh, Oko plus Tireless Tracker is better. Yeah. So we'll go Tireless Tracker, Island. I guess I'll then swing at the Teferi. And then I think I'm going to play Oko and just immediately turn this clue into a 3/3 so that we can potentially threaten lethal. Would that be threatening lethal? Next turn we could swing with Tireless Tracker for 3, Elk for 3. Yeah, I think that is lethal. So we'll make this a 3/3 and pass. If they just play the Scarab God, then they're dead. Because 4 plus 3 plus 3 plus 2 equals 12. Bone Shards the Oko. Okay, fair enough. Still threatening lethal with a Questing Beast, but they might have some other form of interaction. So we want 7 mana, so we do need to play an untapped land here. Let's go. Oh, we don't actually have the right... We have too much blue mana, so we actually can't play both here. I think that's fine, though. Let's just play Botanical Sanctum tapped. And then Questing Beast is threatening lethal. If they have counter magic or removal spell, then they could stop this. Okay, they just concede. Sweet. So playing against Esper Control. How do we want to sideboard here? Alright, how do we want to sideboard here? Playing against Esper Control. Treasure Cruise is probably good. The game's going to be going long. I definitely like Bitter Blossom. I like Skull Clamp. I like Spell Pierce. We could cut Opposition. Yeah, I think I'll cut Opposition. It's good when things are going well, but if they're killing all our things and countering our spells, which is their whole game plan, then it can be a little bit weak. Yeah, I think that's probably the way to do it. Scarab God is a big problem. We have a couple ways to balance it with Brazen Borrower and Upheaval, but we have no ways to exile it, so that's just a weakness of our deck. I don't think there's much we can really do there. I guess we could go aggressive and bring in Scrappy Scrounger, but I don't think that's a great plan, at least when we're on the draw. Okay, great hand. You don't really want Upheaval in the opener, but if we're... if they don't interact with us, we could play turn 2 Oko. Ooh, don't love seeing a Mox Jet on turn 1. And a Duress. Well, there goes the Oko. Our incredible hand just became okay. Still solid, though. If we play Llanowar Elves on turn 1, we can... oh, they take the Upheaval. Interesting. Alright. So we'll play our Elf. Pass turn. They could play turn 2 Teferi, which would be bad. They don't, alright. I think I'm just going to go for it. Well, no, it's so unlikely to work. Yeah, I think it's actually so unlikely to work. They would have definitely taken Oko if they didn't have a way to deal with it. So let's just attack for 1 and then play Charter Course. Or actually, I'll just... Yeah, we'll attack for 1 and play Charter Course. And I'm anticipating that this gets remanded. But if it doesn't, then we got a nice 2 for 1. Remand, yep, there we go. Oko is an answer to the Scarab God, actually. I forgot about that one. Okay, let's play... We haven't seen Spell Pierce. We haven't seen Miscalculation. They played the Remand. So I think I'm just going to go for the Oko this turn. Nice. That works. We could turn the Mox Jet into an Elk, but I guess they could have Hero's Downfall. And that would actually make it even worse if we turn this into an Elk. So let's just plus. If they have the Hero's Downfall, they have the Hero's Downfall. Looks like they do. Ooh, that's even worse. Okay. So they get their Murderous Rider. Now, if they have Scarab God next turn, we're going to lose. And if they don't, I think we're slightly ahead. So we'll see if they have it. No play. Interesting. So they're threatening Mystic Confluence. Let's go for attack for 1 and then try to play Charter Course. And if they counter it, they counter it. I guess I'll play Island first, just in case they do have a Spell Pierce. Yep, they do have that, unfortunately. So this happens, they get their 3 for 1. We play our carry out and pass. So they got a 3 for 1 off of Mystic Confluence and a 2 for 1 off of the Murderous Rider. And they took away Upheaval, which is our main way to counterbalance all of their card advantage. So we're pretty far behind here. But we still have plenty of time until they find the Scarab God. And Preordain's likely to find us more action. We could find Tireless Tracker, we could find Grist. We have a lot of live draws. Main phase Frantic Search, sure. Discarding Bone Shards, Swamp. So they have 3 ways to just straight up kill Oko. So their deck is better suited to kill Oko than almost any other deck in the format. And then they hardcast Grief to take our preordain. Alright. It's pretty bad. We need to top deck. Reclamation Sage. I'll take it. So let's go... I'm going to start by cracking this just in case we draw Tireless Tracker, because that would actually be better. Don't draw the Tracker, though, so we'll play land. Reclamation Sage, kill the Moxjet. We'll drop the Birds of Paradise into play and pass with no cards in hand. We can grab a Triome end of turn, and then we are at the mercy of the top of our library. Treasure Cruise would be a great draw. This is a situation where opposition would have been good. And I think on the play, it's worth it to bring opposition back in. Interesting. They are going to attack here. I guess that makes sense if they're going to play the Murderous Rider, because then we don't really have good counterattacks. There's some argument to saving the Misty Rainforest for Tireless Tracker, but I think it's still worth it to just grab the Triome and fix our mana. Eternal Witness. Huh. I mean, that was a great draw. That was maybe one of the best draws in the deck. The question is, what do we want to bring back? We could bring back Oko, or we could bring back Upheaval. And I think Upheaval is better here. Yeah, let's bring back the Upheaval. We can't play it this turn, but... if they don't have a counterspell or a way to make us discard it, then we're going to be massively ahead next turn. So we'll pass. This is a key turn. Even the Scarab God isn't that scary here. They've gone through Remand, they've gone through Mystic Confluence, they've gone through Duress. Okay, how do we want to block here? I think I'm going to let them kill the Caryatid. We're going to double block here. Because I don't want them to have Grief to hit our hand after the Upheaval, and I want to keep the Eternal Witness to bring back Oko after the Upheaval. This takes away one of our lands, but... oh. Weird. I don't think that was the right play. Now they're giving us extra mana, because now we actually are going to have more mana for our Upheaval turn. Unless they are going to now make us, if they just play Hymn to Torok or something, then sure. Could also play Toxic Deluge for 1. Vindicate Eternal Witness. Okay. That's a good play, but it's not. It's kind of a desperation play. So we'll crack this. And now the question is, do we even want to play the Upheaval now? We're not behind on board, really. And we don't have anything to ramp into. We can just play Upheaval and then play Mana Dude, but then we're just playing Drago. So I think I'm actually going to wait and just play Llanowar Elves and swing for 2, or swing for 1, and then wait until we have... something more proactive to do post-Upheaval. Worth noting, if we'd gotten back the Oko, they would just Vindicate it, so I'm glad that we didn't go for that play. Also worth noting that they're just so good against Oko. They have 4 main deck ways to kill Planeswalkers, at least. There's some action. Okay, so now I think we do go for the... actually, no, there's still just no reason. Let's just play the Grist. We'll save the Upheaval as a sort of get-out-of-jail-free card. I think I'm going to kill this. Yeah, I'm going to kill this because I don't want them to get back after Upheaval. So basically, we're just going to wait until they draw something scary and then play Upheaval. We're not really gaining much by playing Upheaval right now. I think I'm still just going to wait. We'll plus, make a dude. Milling over a swamp is nice there. Play land, swing for 1. One thing worth noting, it would have been a little bit better to sacrifice Birds of Paradise probably rather than Llanowar Elves because like the 1 damage could add up here if the game goes wrong, which is looking like it may. Mirror Signet. Okay, so let's think. Like, this is a weird game. Like, what's the argument for just going for the Upheaval? Spell Pierce is just dead. We can hit them for 2, play Upheaval, redevelop some of our mana, reset Grist's loyalty. I think it probably is worth it, actually, at this point. It's close. Yeah, so I'm going to swing for 1. And then I will go for the Upheaval now. And then Spell Pierce will be hopefully a live card. No point in plussing Grist here. Play Upheaval. Wait. I guess the question is, do we want to play Grist this turn or develop our mana first? Well, I think I'm going to float. So we have 8 mana. So we could just play Grist. Or we could develop our mana first. I think it's... Oh, man, this is close. Let's develop the mana first. So we'll play Upheaval. Snapcaster Mage, Mystic Confluence. Well, oh wait, well if they go for the Confluence, we have Spell Pierce, which is kind of hilarious. Okay, I mean they made the right play, absolutely, but it's not going to work out how they wanted to here. There's also an argument, like, now they are going to get the Snapcaster back, which I don't love. But they're going to be low on mana, so I think it's still worth it here. So we'll go Spell Pierce. The turn 10 Spell Pierce, still good. Then this Upheaval resolves, and we'll go Botanical Sanctum, double 1-drop. Pass turn. So it's definitely not over, but we're pretty ahead here. We obviously have the mana advantage. They are going to be pretty slow out of the gate here. They have a Signet for turn 2 and a bunch of lands. We don't know what else they have. We can play Grist, which will start pressuring them. Another land is a bad draw. But the Grist ultimate could be a threat. It only hits for 3 right now, but the +1 fuels the ultimate, although milling over at Pest Infestation is kind of bad. Hit for 1 and pass. They play their Signet. Jeez, come on, deck. I'm going to main phase cycle the Triome. Oh my gosh. Alright, I mean, fair enough. Plus... milling over yet another land. Okay, I think the damage is better than having Caryata in play, so I'm going to hit for 2. Playing 16 lands, that's 4, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 down. So we have 5 lands left out of 15. Tireless Tracker. Okay, that's a good draw. Let's start with a tracker. Nice. It resolves. Get the land down. I'll plus the Grist again. Milling over Bitter Blossom, that's fine. And then I'm still not going to worry about the Caryatid. I'm just going to hit them for 3. And plan on cracking the Clue end of turn. Venser. Fair enough. So they can bounce our Grist. And then block our Finhorned Elves. And now there's actually an argument for playing the Caryatid. Yeah, I think I actually will do that now. There's not like a rush to crack the Clue, and if they took away some of our mana and gave us an expensive card in our hand, then we actually might need the mana next turn. Gilded Drake stealing the tracker. Okay. The 3/3 with flying is a pretty good clock for us. Liliana the last trip to kill Birds of Paradise. Okay, I'm really glad I played the Caryatid now, because otherwise we wouldn't have had black mana for the Grist. Brazen Borrower, best draw in the deck. That was incredible. So we can Petty Theft the Tireless Tracker back to our hand. I think I'm actually still not going to play it this turn, though. I think I want to get the Grist down and kill this Venser. So we'll go land, Grist, kill the Venser. Then we'll kill Liliana and hit them for 1. Pass turn. Now, if they top deck the Scarab God, we're actually in a kind of bad situation. Oh, okay, they just concede, actually. Well, nice opponent, interesting match, but we are still undefeated, yet to drop a game. I'll see you in the finals. All right, we have our opponent for the finals. Fighting for the trophy, we are yet to drop a game, but we are on the draw against Starfish, who rolled a 6. Great hand, we will keep. If they kill our elf, this hand becomes a lot worse because we don't have double green, but turn 2 Tireless Tracker is strong. We played against a blue control deck and an aggressive deck. We managed to dispatch them both. I actually think the worst matchup would be against a green deck, so hopefully they're not playing mono green. They are on a mold of 5, though. Hopefully they keep their 5. Like, you can play a real game on a mold of 5, but a mold of 4 is... I guess in Vintage Cube, anything can happen. Like, they could just go land Black Lotus, Time Twister, but in general, I don't want to have a non-game in the finals. Island Go. The scariest start of all. Based on this upkeep shop, it looks like they actually might have Ancestral, which will quickly undo their mulligan. Forest Elf, go. Nice, no Ancestral. Blue-red. Do they have the burn spell? Yes, they do. Bitter Blossom would be our best draw here, but any like Sylvan Caryatid would also be really good. Basic Island, not really good. There's the iteration, sure, so they get their value. This is probably going to be a 2-for-1 for them. Then we're going to go Tireless Tracker. Good chance Tracker dies, but then we can bring it back with Eternal Witness. In a game where we're flooded, I don't really want to just waste an Eternal Witness getting back a Llanowar Elves. So they do get a clean 2-for-1 there. Rex Sage. Okay, let's go. I don't think the land that we play matters, so I'm going to play Island to strike fear into their hearts. And no end turn Bolt's really good. If they kill this on their turn, at least they're using their mana now. I guess like land Chandra, 4 mana Chandra minus would be bad. But if they just spend their turn like play another Braid type card, that's not the end of the world. Evoke a Mole Drifter, that's definitely not the end of the world. Hopefully they don't have a Bolt. Nice. So we get our Tireless Tracker value. And Questing Beast was a good draw. We'll just play that and start beating down. Swing for 7. And now Blue-Red has a lot of combos. They could play Through the Breach Emrakul here, and we would lose. But if they're not playing combo, it's going to be pretty hard for them to come back from this position. They have to deal with our board, but our hand is good. And they don't have that much mana. Goldspan Dragon, sure. So I'm tempted to just crack 2 clues and hit them back for 9 to put their life total in jeopardy. Playing Eternal Witness isn't that good. We could play Rexage to kill their treasure token. Not super exciting, but it's not unreasonable. We'll see what we draw. Ooh, opposition. Interesting. This only triggers when it becomes the target of a spell. So I think that's actually the play now. Let's go Island. Swing for 7. I guess, so, okay, here we have 2 plays. Opposition, and then tap one of their guys. Or crack a clue to hit them for 1 extra point of damage and then Rexage their token. I actually think that might be better. Opposition is not that good. Tapping their Goldspan Dragon. Actually, I guess that takes them off for just as much mana. And then we have Opposition in play. And the 1 point of damage doesn't matter that much. Okay, sure. We'll just let this happen. Hit them for 7 and then play the Opposition. That's probably the better line. It is close, though. They could crack this for a burn spell of some sort, and then that's fine, but they don't have it, so let's play Opposition. Mana Drain. Oof. Well, that's bad. We'll see what they have here. They now are going to have an insane amount of mana. Luckily, they can't attack with their Goldspan Dragon. Like, they can't use their Mana Drain mana and their Goldspan Dragon mana in the same main phase, because this goes in the first main phase and this goes in the second. But this is still pretty scary. I mean, we'll just see what they have. They don't have that many cards in hand, but they're playing blue, so, I mean, they could just play Upheaval. Narset. Okay, that's not too bad. See what they hit. Their deck is really good. I mean, they have, like, all the good blue-red cards. Wheel of Fortune. Okay, I mean, Wheel of Fortune, Narset's strong. We're only going to get to draw 1 card, but we have these clues, and we have, just a good board presence. We hit Misty Rainforest, which is actually not bad with the Tireless Tracker. Murktide Regent, Force of Negation, Seasoned Pyromancer. Their deck looks great. And actually, yeah, I mean, we're really behind if we don't kill them with this Questing Beast, essentially. We can make the Tireless Tracker a lethal attacker, though. So they need to chump block the Tireless Tracker unless they have something in their hand. Hopefully they just drew like card draw and counter magic, and we can win with the board. Good to know about Narset Tireless, or Narset Wheel of Fortune. Interesting. So they do attack. That's a little scary. I mean, they have 5 mana. We'll see what they have here. Worst case scenario would be something that makes a bunch of blockers, but Questing Beast can swing through something like Pia and Kira and Lara. Oh, they could just be planning on using Seasoned Pyromancer. Probe for mana. Horizon Canopy. Okay, let's play the Misty Rainforest. And then go to combat, and we'll see. I mean, I think it's very doubtful that they have nothing. If they have Deceiver Exarch, we might just die to their combo. But they have to have something here. What you got? Venser. Okay. So bounce the Questing Beast. And then they need to chump block. We're going to crack the clue and not draw a card, which isn't great, but it's fine. We're pretty far behind, though, now. I mean, we have some creatures that are beating down. I'm not going to worry about getting black mana here. There's a world where that ends up biting us, but I think it's probably fine. Go land, make another clue, play Questing Beast, and pass turn. But yeah, I mean, they mulled a 5, but they're in a good spot now. Their deck looks very strong. They hit Ponder, okay. They still have Seasoned Pyromancer. The tokens can't block Questing Beast, but they can chump block Tireless Tracker. But if we get to hit them with the Tireless Tracker, we also get to hit the Narset, and then we can crack all our clues and start drawing cards again. The only problem is that we actually are kind of low now. This Goldspan Dragon has hit us for 8 and made 4 mana. It's been quite good. The key turn of the game was the turn where they mana drained us. They mana drained the opposition. Hardcast Chandra and minus to kill Tireless Tracker, probably. Actually, I don't know. I can see them killing either one. They kill that. Okay, so now they have to chump block the Tireless Tracker. So they can't attack, presumably. Well, that threatens lethal. I think we just need to go for it. I don't love it. They're going to make another treasure, so they're going to have 4 mana. But we're going to make them have something. Wow, really close game, but we just got there. Tireless Tracker, that's funny. It wasn't even the clues. We just used Tireless Tracker as a beefy boy. But we managed to narrowly take down Blue-Red in Game 1, despite the fact that they mulled a 5. They did hit us with the Narset Wheel of Fortune, though, so that's kind of sweet that we were able to come back despite that. Very close game. And it should be a kind of tough matchup. They have a lot of card draw, a lot of counter magic, some threats that are tough for us to deal with. Murktide region is very strong. But we'll see what we can do here in Game 2. Do we want to make any changes? I think on the draw, I'm going to cut the Canopy for a Forest. They're playing red. They have some ways to pressure our life total. Hero's Downfall is okay, but probably not super necessary. I think I'm just going to run it like... I guess we didn't see that many things that Reclamation Sage is good against. Yeah, I'll cut Rex Sage for a Treasure Cruise here. And then we'll run it like this. It's kind of slow. I think I'm going to keep it on the strength of Oko, but if they have a broken draw, then this will be bad. Best draw would be any one-mana Accelerant by a long shot. Island Ponder, that's fine. Give me that Birds of Paradise. Let's see it. They don't shuffle. That's a little scary. Ooh. Deal. So we get to play our elf. If they kill this, they kill it. Then they're still spending their whole second turn on that, presumably. So it's not too bad. And then if they can't kill it and we get to play turn 2 Oko, that's great. If they're playing blue-red, then their removal is going to be primarily damage-based. And Oko is very good against damage-based removal. It's unlike the last matchup where their removal is just like straight-up destroy target planeswalker. So we're just going to jam. If they have the counter, they have the counter. They can't have Mana Drain. And we have Eternal Witness to rebuy this if they do have the counter. Remand. Okay. So if they tap out for Narset, I'm going to play Questing Beast, and otherwise we'll probably just jam Oko again. I guess if they play Island and just pass, I'll consider playing Hydroid Krasis to play around Counter Magic, but they do just play the Narset, so pretty easy Questing Beast here. They put Force of Negation into their hand, so it's a good thing our threat is a creature. Questing Beast is maybe the best card in the entire format that we could have here. If they have Force of Will into Wheel of Fortune, fair enough. Like, you got me. Oh, man. Do they actually have that? Come on. All right. So they're holding Force of Negation. 3 unknowns. That's pretty bad. That is pretty bad. I really, really hope they don't have Force of, or a Wheel of Fortune. It's kind of insane that they have both Force of Will and Force of Negation. They play their land. Minus Narset. Don't hit wheel, don't hit wheel. Mana Drain. Okay, that's good, but not game ending. So we're going to play, I think, Hydroid Krasis here. I mean, so I'm going to start by attacking Narset. They might have Venser, and then they can eat our guy, but I don't think it's smart to just not attack here. Like, getting the Narset off the table would be a huge swing, and they probably want to hold up Mana Drain this turn. Please work. Please work. Alright, sweet. We get to kill the Narset, it looks like. Then we'll go land, Hydroid Krasis. And if they counter it, they do get their mana, but we still get to draw a card and gain life. So it's not as bad as if they countered our Oko. Skull Clamp, okay. Alright, that resolves. If they just don't use their Mana Drain, if they don't use any mana here, we're in great shape. They could go Fact or Fiction. Take your time. Yeah, I mean, that's same as Fact or Fiction, essentially. Basically, just like it's an instant speed 2 for 1. So that's pretty good. They're holding Mana Drain. They have 5 other cards. So we're not in a great shape, but we do have a good hand, and like we're ahead on board, and they don't have that much mana, so it's very close right now. Magda. Okay, that's fine. So I'm going to go for the Skull Clamp. And if it resolves, that's pretty sweet. This card is going to give us a lot of value. And if they mana drain that, then we have Oko. Okay, that works. Let's clamp. Do we want to clamp the Llanowar Elves? Or do we want to play Eternal Witness? I think I'm going to play Eternal Witness. If they don't counter it... Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of pressure on them to mana drain this. If they let it resolve, then we can just like clamp it and clamp and just start drawing a ton of cards. So they do mana drain that. That's fine. We can go clamp here. Draw 2. And then we'll just grab Basic Forest and play Arbor Elf. And I'm going to pass. I don't really want to let them... Like, I'll trade the Hydroid Krasis for the Magda here if they attack. That's a fine trade for us. They're going to make a treasure, but that's okay. So, this is a key turn. They get 3 mana off the mana drain, so we'll see what they can do. But Opposition and Oko both shut down a lot of the scary things that they could play here. If they play Wheel of Fortune, they do take out our hand, but they're not really ahead then. Like, Wheel of Fortune is only backbreaking when they also have Narset. Okay, Baral was not a card I was expecting to see out of their deck. I don't think they're playing Storm. I think they're just blue-red mid-range. But maybe this is just like a value card for them. So they do swing. That's fine. I'll accept this trade. I'm keeping the Arbor Elf because the mana is valuable and it's a more clampable body. If they just pass here, we're in a great spot. Okay. So I'm just going to start with Oko. I don't think it's likely to resolve. But it could. There's a Force of Negation. Fair enough. They get to use their Baral. And then this opposition is not looking great, but I think it's probably correct to cast it rather than clamping our elf. And they counter this, that's totally fine. But against a deck that's playing Wheel of Fortune, I do just want to have things in play. Like, you're just going for, like, clamping for value and stuff doesn't seem amazing. Opposition isn't entered a Murktide Regent, which is one of their cards that we've seen. If they counter the opposition... Okay, they let it resolve, sure. Hopefully they don't have a Chandra Torch of Defiance. That could kill the... Oh, okay, a Braid Skull Clamp, sure. Good thing we didn't go for the Clamp on the Arbor Elf then. But, I mean, we're sort of both top decking. I think we might be slightly ahead here, but it's very close. And it is just going to come down to who draws better primarily. Oh no, did they really top deck the Chandra? Or the Gold Svan Dragon? Oh, Glorybringer. That's pretty bad. It's not game ending because we have the opposition to deal with it, but it is going to kill our Arbor Elf. So we're not going to get to draw 2 off of the Chart Course. We take 5. And then we'll see what we draw. Triome. Not a good draw. Chart a course. Okay, so let's go discard basic island. And then I think we're going to go... I think I'm planning on cycling the Triome. Well, this is kind of close. Because if Nebraska survives and we're sacking lands, then we kind of want the Triome to be in play. But we have so many lands right now. So I think the play is just play Vraska and minus to kill the Baral. And then next turn... And play Nurturing Peatland. And then next turn, hope to find a creature to keep the Vraska around. So I'm going to hold the Triome in hand to get an extra look at drawing a creature. So we'll go land, Vraska. Kill the Baral and pass. And then next turn we get potentially 3 looks at a creature, and any creature lets us opposition to tap Glorybringer. And then if we can survive and tap their Glorybringer and get 1 creature going, then pretty quickly it'll snowball because we'll get to get our 2nd creature, and then we'll be able to tap the mountain. Then they won't really be able to get back into it that easily. So I think we are in a good spot here as long as their last card is not that good. They also have a lot of bad draws. Like if they draw Seasoned Pyromancer or Goldspan Dragon or any other double red card, that's not that good. Wheel of Fortune is actually really helpful for us. They just draw basic island. Hopefully they pass. All right, now let's see what we draw. Bitter Blossom. Not ideal. I think I'm going to start by sacking a forest. Witherbloom Command. That doesn't do much. Okay, let's cycle Triome. Preordain, that's a good draw. We just need to find a creature, like any creature. Okay, sure. It's not a good draw, but it gets the job done. So we play the birds, play the Bitter Blossom, and pass. Okay, sure. I don't care about that. We didn't need the Bitter Blossom, really. We just wanted to tap the Glorybringer. All right. Opposition to tap the Glorybringer. And they have 1 top deck, and this is the key turn. We're pretty likely to get another creature into play next turn, and they don't have anything sweet. So we take our draw step. So let's sack an island. I think I'm going to hold the Witherbloom Command. There's not really a rush to get that down. Pass. And then we can tap their Glorybringer and their mountain. What's this? 6 mana. It could be a Murktide Regent. Time Spiral. Okay. I mean, yeah, that's pretty good. Not really anything we can do in response, so we'll just let it happen. This backup hand is pretty bad. Actually, it's really bad. There's no creatures other than 1 Eternal Witness, and all we want when we have the opposition going is just more creatures. But Preordain can find us some stuff. Hopefully it'll work. Their Narset and Time Spiral, like a lot of the really good cards are in exile already. If they have Goldspan Dragon, that's kind of bad because then they'll have 2 dragons and they're gonna be able to attack with one of them. They do have the dragon, so now we need to decide if we'd rather give them a treasure token. I think I'm gonna let them attack with the Goldspan Dragon and tap the Glorybringer, but it's close. Man, Time Spiral and Goldspan Dragon. That's all they get back into it, I guess. Although they are in a bit of a pressure for time, because this is just game 2, and they're down to 7 minutes. So they're going to get their treasure. They're going to get to put our Vraska down to 1. And then the question is going to be, can we get some creatures going? They could also find a burn spell to finish off the Vraska. But if they kill the Vraska, it's not the end of the world. We're not really going to be using the plus anyways. Actually, the Vraska's not even that relevant in this situation. We could crack the Nurturing Peatland end of turn, but I don't think that's correct when we have a full grip. I'm kind of tempted to just play Bitter Blossom and then immediately sack it to the Vraska. Bad draw. Okay, so yeah, I think I'm going to do this. So Bitter Blossom, it's just a little too slow. They can mana drain this if they want to. Actually, well, yeah. So we'll plus sack the Bitter Blossom. This is kind of weird. I think I'm going to Witherbloom Command to kill the treasure token and just drain them for life. It's not sexy, but I think it is probably the right play here. And then we can Eternal Witness back something. But just play Eternal Witness to get a body on the board. So, destroy target non-land permanent, non-land non-creature permanent. And drain them. Abrade the Birds of Paradise. Okay, so in response, we're going to play Eternal Witness, or we'll float mana. They can. Oh wait, they lost connection to the game. Okay, so I think I'm going to play Preordain here. Actually, no, let's play Eternal Witness first, and then Preordain. Well, they could have days, is the one consideration. I really, really want to get Eternal Witness into play, so I think I'm just going to play that now. Wait. Actually, let's just Eternal Witness back Birds of Paradise. Just put max bodies into play for opposition. We can pass, we're going to tap a mountain, their upkeep, and then tap both of their dragons at begin combat. Opposition is really putting in some good work for us here. Expressive iteration is fine. That doesn't interact with the board. We just don't want them to kill all our creatures. Dig through time. All right. I mean, they can dig through time using all of their mana, but that's just still, like, I don't think they're winning a card advantage game against opposition, most likely. At least we haven't seen any combos or anything like that that would really get us. We just want to put bodies into play, so hopefully we can preordain into more creatures. Upheaval. Huh. That's interesting. Do we just jam that? How much mana do we have? 2, 4, 6, 8, 9. That seems pretty good. Oh, that wait, they could have force. Yeah, force and negation would actually be pretty terrible there, especially if we tapped all of our dudes. I think that's not worth it. We're like fine on board. We don't need something drastic like that. They're also not F6, which increases the chances of them having the force. Okay, Brazen Borrower, pretty solid. I think it's worth keeping that. I'll sack one of these swamps. Cycle Triome. I think I'm just going to play Hydrocrisis for 1. Just putting more bodies into play. That's the name of the game when you have opposition. I don't need to worry about killing them for a while. We do want to make sure we don't just randomly die to a Wheel of Fortune, but short of that, there's not much they can do. Eventually we'll be able to ultimate with Vraska. So play Arbor Elf, and then again tap both mountains, and then tap both of their dragons. Tap those, let them go. Baral is fine. Tap you and tap you. Alright, I think it's pretty much out of reach for the opponent now, and Pest Infestation should close it out. You can go land. I'm just going to cast this. There's a good chance they have Force of Will or Force of Negation. Alright, I'm just going to cast this. So just make 6 dudes. If this resolves, then it's obviously game over. They do have mana drain, but I think that's fine. They get their loot, but whatever. Sack a forest. Questing Beast, not going to worry about that this turn. That's a pretty good draw. We'll just pass to the opponent and then tap 3 red sources and both of their dragons. Same game plan, we just want to take them off of their scariest double red cards that interact with the board and or Wheel of Fortune. So tap this. Tap this. We're still just adding more and more creatures to the board every single turn. And then in case they have any really weird thing, we still have Brazen Borrower up. Mortide Regent, not a problem. Their Dragon Tribal over there. They have 3 dragons in play. But we have one opposition in play, and an opposition plus a bunch of elves beats any other creature in the format. Okay, now we need to decide if we want to Brazen Borrow or anything. I don't even think we do, though. I think we just let this happen and then tap their thing still. Like, they're about to get milled. They only have 4 cards. Probe is fine. They're down to 3 cards. Then I guess they can hit us with Brawl if they want to. Not too worried about that. We're going to get to put a bunch more creatures into play, and that will end the game. Let's go Tireless Tracker. Tetra Triome. Elf. Elf. Plus, but not sacrifice anything. And then we'll pass. We have 8 creatures. We want to tap their 4 creatures, so we can tap all 4 of their red sources. Yeah, we'll just pass turn. Oh. Well then. That's pretty good. So they can bounce the opposition. They get in 1 attack with their dudes, but they can't kill us. They can exert to kill the Hydroid Krasis and then hit us for 8 plus 5. 13 in the air. I mean, that's scary. Oh, we also have Birds of Paradise, so we can jump block the Murktide region if we want to. Yep, they bounce that. Nothing to be done there. So they do get 1 turn of attacks. We'll see what they can do with it. I made this a lot more interesting. They suspend Ancestral Vision, but they only have 2 cards in deck. I guess if they've gone through Force of Negation and Force of Will and Mana Drain, so I don't think they're going to be able to counter this opposition again. But if they do, things could get hairy. Although, again, I mean, worst comes to worst, they just win Game 2 and then time out in Game 3 at this point. Unfortunately, I don't want it to end that way, but that is what would happen. So they make their treasure. They kill this guy. I'm going to preserve my life total by chump blocking with Birds of Paradise. Mag is fine. They have 2 cards in library. Not cracking the clue end of turn because I don't want to accidentally mill myself. Oh, do they still have Snapcaster in their deck? They do. So Snapcaster Wheel of Fortune is a play. That would make the game a draw. And I don't think there's anything we can do about that other than killing them with a Vraska Ultimate. So hopefully we can get there. We'll play this. Play opposition. Do they have the counterspell? They don't. Okay. We'll plus this and not destroy anything. Oh, wait. Whoops. Okay, I missed a kill there. I didn't realize that was a -9. I thought it was -10. Sorry about that. We'll play Grist, but not activate it. Actually, I guess we can activate it to kill the Murktide. We'll sack Eternal Witness. Because we would just tap the Eternal Witness to kill the yeah, we'd use Eternal Witness to tap the Murktide, so we might as well just take them both off the board. And then we will pass to the opponent. Man, that was actually a pretty costly misplay. We could have just ultimated Vraska and then gone for the kill, which does lose to some things actually. But like this way, it's just this way we're just gonna win on time. I guess they're gonna go for the draw. If Snapcaster Mage is their last card, then it's not over. No point tapping their stuff. They have infinite mana. Tap the dragon. Tap the Venser. Tap this. They're going to get a treasure from that. Okay, I guess I'll tap on these end of turn. Doesn't really matter. The enemy threaten, then we just go for the kill. So, -9 this. Play land. And then I'm going to attack. Okay, they just concede. Sweet. So we could attack the creatures, and then any creature would hit them and kill them. So that's pretty sweet. We got the trophy. Let's pull up the deck list. This was our Sultai deck, and it was a really sweet one. We got the trophy. We won every single game, so a nice 3-0, 6-0. There were some very long and complicated games, but I'm not surprised at this deck trophy. It was very good. To start, good mana. That's where most decks start. We had Fetch Land, we had Perfect Triome, a couple other duels, so that gave us a lot of consistency. Then we had a lot of accelerants, 4 1-mana accelerants and 1 2-mana accelerant, which just let us come out of the gate pretty quickly. That's not enough where we're going to have one every single game, but it was pretty good. And then the sort of crux of the deck was our 3 to 4 mana threats. So Grist, Oko, Vraska, all very good planeswalkers. Tireless Tracker won some games, which had some quick value engines that could win the game on their own and also come down really early as turn 2 with an accelerant. Back in that, we had some good card draw between Preordained, Charter Course, Moldrifter, to some extent Vraska, and Eternal Witness, Tireless Tracker. So that was pretty sweet. And then we had some really good ways to go over the top of people. So opposition basically guarantees that you win the long game in a deck like this that has enough creatures. Hydroid Krasis is very powerful. And then Upheaval, we didn't do a lot of upheavaling, but it had moments of greatness for sure. Skull Clamp was good. Just a really sweet deck all around. It had flexible answers, a proactive game plan, good mana, no real holes. I guess the one hole it was weak on counter magic. We had no ways to make them discard cards and only one Spell Pierce. So we were a little bit soft to combo. But we have a reasonably quick clock and some interaction for combo. And then also we just didn't run into too much. We did run into... I think we ran into Splinter Twin. Oh, no, we didn't. Yeah, no combo, so dodge that a little bit. Like, Storm would have probably been a kind of rough matchup. But we managed to get the clean sweep, a 6-0. Feels good for the first, not my first league of the season, but first video of the season. So thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed, and I'll see you next time.